thank you all for coming to this event for Ray. We kind of called it a memorial, but it's also a celebration of Ray's life. So we really appreciate you all coming because we all know who Ray was and still is. I'll just, the way Ray was, this is just going to be a casual event. So I hope people basically can come up and share stories or any memories that you have of Ray, which would be wonderful to hear. So I'll start by, Ray was, just a wonderful, wonderful, joyful person. And I think he would, personally, it was an inspiration to me just because he never changed. Even in his last time here with us, he was a little sick and it was hard to see, but you would have never known it because of just the way Ray was. So his inspiration for me was just his joyful every day. It didn't matter who you were, what walk of life you came from. In Ray's eyes, you were exactly the same person to him, and he would treat you that way. So, and now that I'm in my 50s now and the age I see, I know what a smile could do for someone who might be having a bad day. And we work in that environment where, life's stressful. Coming to school for students, it's a stressful thing, and all of us working, we're stressful lives. To have people like Ray around for us to see that inspiration was good for me because, like I said, just a smile can change somebody's day, the entire day. Ray went much further than that. It was a smile, then it was how you doing, his famous quote, how you doing? And then it was a positive conversation about whatever, whether he knew you or didn't know you. It was a positive conversation, and then when that person's leaving, it's, have a great day, have a good day. So to me, that's just wonderful. That's why when I finally get this wonderful picture we have of Ray smiling, we're going to have displayed in our office. But my saying will be everyday Ray to remind me to be like that, because it's just, to make somebody's day is really big. So I really appreciate that from Ray. And I'll a good memory that I've had of Ray, with the joy in his heart all the time, I try to get Ray to laugh, whatever, tell him a joke or whatever. And as he's leaving the office, if Ray starts laughing, Ray doesn't just stop laughing. Ray's laughing halfway down the hall. And just that joy he had in his heart, that always kind of just made me happy to hear him continually laughing. So that was my big memory of Ray. So real quick, this is the tree here that we chose for Ray. It's Ray's favorite color was purple, so it's called an Agonis After Dark, and the common name's purple peppermint willow. So it will have purple leaves all the time. It doesn't get to be a big tree, and we'd like to plant it in this area because a lot of people walk through this area. They like to take shortcuts, so maybe at least a lot of people will get to see the tree. So we can't change the botanical name of it, but the common name we can change. So I'd actually like to call it the purple peppermint willow how you doing tree. So, and we'll have a nice bench here and people can enjoy this tree. So again, casually, we kind of set it up formally, but as we go, we can switch chairs around. But if people could come up and please share their stories about Ray, it would be awesome. Anybody? There we go. I know once somebody goes, then everyone else will follow. Good to see you.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cox. I'm an adjunct here, and I have a question. Why is it that the people that have the least to complain about complain the most? I'll never figure that out. And of course, why is it that the people that have the most to complain about complain the least? And of course, that was Ray. And it wasn't how you doing, it was how you doing, Kevin? And did he just shake hands for, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? It just wouldn't let that hand go. And they ought to name a building after him. I'm happy with the tree, really. And that was my email to the chancellor. Will you name a building after him? Really? Does anybody represent the spirit of this campus better than Ray? Is anybody ever going to represent the spirit of this campus better than Ray? I think we all know the answer to that. Name a building after him. So I just had to come up and share a specific story. And I used to eat lunch. The reason I know this, I used to eat lunch in the, take my sunglasses off, I'm sorry. I used to eat lunch in the custodian's break room because it had a refrigerator and it had a microwave and it had Ray. And when he got going, there's nothing better. I mean, try to be depressed, try to be upset about anything when Ray gets going. So on this particular day, I don't know how the topic came up, but we started talking about Ray's youth and his dreadlocks and his hitchhiking around like the western US. I just remember someplace up north like Montana or Wyoming where I don't think Ray should have gone, right? But who could be mad at Ray? And the visual though of him in dreads, you know, just out there, just experiencing life. And you can only imagine the impact that he had on everybody. And it's that attitude of gratitude, and it's so needed in this world. And so few people have it. And when you find a treasure like Ray, you could shake his hand for the rest of your life, really. I mean, you never get tired of that. So I remember when I got the email and I said, oh no, not Ray. I don't know how we get the building campaign started, but I just name the building after him. And if it doesn't get done and you see some spray paint, okay? I'm disavowing all knowledge. I was never there. I was doing a project around the house. That's why you got red on my fingers. Which building would we like, by the way, if somebody, not advocating an act of vandalism, of course, but which building, well, anyway. Facility services, I think we could probably do better than that. All right, so thank you very much for your time.
Well, hello, and thank you for being here today to help celebrate Ray's life and his contribution to Mesa College and the district. My name is Don Betts. I'm the Director of Facility Services, if you haven't had an opportunity to meet me. And once again, we're here today to celebrate the life of a wonderful man. People ask, what's the hardest part of my job? Is it big water coming out of the ground, people trapped in elevators, new buildings, something not functioning well? We deal with all that, but really when people talk to me, I tell them this is the hardest part of my job. We work for a large organization that's like a large family, a close family, and when we lose a team member, it's hard for all of us, and I'm glad that we're able to come together today to celebrate Ray's life. Ray worked here for many years and was known as a very dedicated, hard-working individual. I always saw him moving. He was always doing the tasks that needed to be done. I saw him working outside of the cafeterias often. So I'm working in different parts of the campus, and one photo that's floating around, he has 2 spray bottles in his hand and a cleaning towel and a big smile, and we've talked about that today. No matter how difficult the task was, it came with a big smile and Ray's personality. So when we think about that, you know, all the things that we face each day, Ray brought us a lot of, hard work, but just a spirit about working, and you could tell that he cared a great deal about Mesa College. The contagious smile would light up a room, and we hope that more would learn from Raymond. Thinking about this today, I thought the college, the district could use a lot more Raymonds, but I think the world could use more people like Raymond as well. He was a giving person that did as much as he could. I work on the maintenance side as well as the operations side, and with some of my maintenance staff many years ago, as we faced the bond build out and many difficult things, I said that I like to hear all the reasons that we can, not all the reasons that we can't, because we have many things that are difficult, complex, dirty, undesirable. And I said those are the things where we want to raise our hand and show how much we can give back to the district. Raymond was one of those people. It appeared that he cared so much about the district that he always put the district first, responded to every situation, every emergency that he needed to on campus with a positive attitude, and once again, a big smile. And I don't know if Raymond has any family here today, but if he does, we want to say thank you for allowing us to share Raymond and to have Raymond for as many years as we have. And it's never long enough. Like was previously mentioned, when we got the email, we said, oh no, not that person that I just saw with the big smile. Didn't share a lot about what was happening in his life. He just came to work every day and worked hard, and once again put the district first. If Raymond was listening, what would we say to him? We'd say, of course, we miss you, we love you, and once again, just not enough time with us on this earth. So, it took me to another thought. I thought, as I've gotten older, what can we learn from children? And I was at a memorial service one time, and the adults were all walking and talking to each other. A somber event. And as I watched a group of children, they knelt down at the gravesite, and they kissed the grave, and they said, we miss you, we love you, and they said, come back. If we could snap our fingers and make him come back, Raymond, just like I heard the children say, we wish you could come back. I feel like Mesa has a special guardian angel watching over the campus, a person that cared so much about this campus. And once again, we just had a very special friend in Raymond. And today I look forward to what the others have to share today, because I think we'll hear a lot of the same types of things, just a lot about a giving person and a person that cared a great deal about the colleges. So thank you for being here today.
Hi, I'm Jonathan McLeod, and I teach history here. And I've known Ray from walking around the campus over quite a few years. Ray did always have 2 spray bottles and a towel, and he would wipe down the window frames or take a broom and sweep off the cobwebs. He also reached high, and I saw him with some sort of gigantic water-powered broom cleaning the outside windows on the 3rd floor of the Social Behavioral Sciences building while he was standing on the ground. It was pretty remarkable. He reached high. One thing I've learned about being involved with the American Federation of Teachers is that we are all one, whether we're classified workers or we're faculty workers. Ray knew how to appeal to people, whatever their walk of life was in our district. And for him, the key was to make the quality of life better for everyone. And he always thought of students when he was doing that. He always thought of how can we make this the best possible environment for students? How can we respect one another? So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathy Springs, and I work in the financial aid office and have for almost 20 years. I've known Ray for as long as he's been here. I loved his earbuds. I loved him screaming across our very quiet building, "Hi, Grandma!" Oh my God. There was a time when it was super, super hot, and he was putting up an easy up outside of the student services building. In the morning, he was just dripping with sweat, and he put it up, and then a couple hours later, he took it down. And then a couple hours later, he was putting it back up. And I said, Raymond, what, can't they make up their mind? Why are you having to sit out here and sweat and keep doing this over and over? And he said, first he took his earbuds out. Miss Kathy, the way I look at it, it doesn't matter what they tell me to do. I have a job, and I'll do whatever it is and be grateful. And he made me smile more than anybody I've ever known. When I came into work in the morning and he was in the lower parking lot, I would stop my car, roll down my window, and holler, "Hi, Raymond," and he would wave across the parking lot, "Hi, Kathy!" And I will always miss him, and he will always make me smile. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, I don't think so. don't even know that I need it. Hi, I'm Ann Geller. I teach biology here. Raymond and I started about the same time, so I've known him for about the 25 years that he's worked here. Just like you, he touched me, and I am sad about not being able to see him and miss his huge presence anywhere that he is. It's not going to be the same not to see him all the time around here. I appreciate the story that the first gentleman, told about the dreadlocks, because that was something I didn't know about him. I mean, there's a lot of that we don't know about our coworkers, and so it's nice to hear those kind of personal things. So one thing that I just want to share is, many of you probably know, Raymond took buses to get to and from work. If you didn't know, he did, and he had to take multiple buses in order to be able to get places. So one day I was leaving work, and I had my daughter with me, and we were going to go, I was going to take her somewhere after work, and drove out of the campus and saw Raymond waiting for the second of the buses that he needed to take in order for him to get home. So I pulled over to the side of the road, like, hey, you know what? Like, can I give you a ride somewhere? And he's like, no. Like, no. I'm like, no, come on. Like, I don't have to be anywhere. Like, let me take you. Where do you need to be? Doesn't really matter. So he's like, well, if it's not too much trouble, nope. Get in the car. Gets in the car. So now all of a sudden, right, it's outside of the environment that we normally work in. And now you start to have like different kinds of conversations and hearing a little bit more about his life and where am I taking him? I'm taking him to his apartment. So I pull up to where his apartment is, and I said, like, okay, is this like where you want me to drop you off? And he goes, yeah, that's where I live. And I go and I look, and I'm like, okay, that's your apartment. He goes, yeah, see the one with all of the wind chimes outside? I am not kidding you. Like, his apartment, which was in an apartment building, I don't know what his neighbors thought of him. There must have been, I don't know, 60 wind chimes on his patio outside. And I was just like, I knew he liked music. I knew he liked pretty sounds. But that was something that I learned about him that day. And so now, if I hear little wind chimes, right, so now I can think of Raymond even more so, blowing in the wind. So thought I'd just share that with you guys if you didn't know that about him.
Hello, I'm Diana Madero with the college, please. Raymond was a big part of my life, starting here at Mesa College 20 years ago. And I'll never forget the first time I met him, that huge, beautiful smile. And once again, like you guys all said, he has the bottles in his hands. And I was so saddened when I saw the email come out about him, because it just seemed like he was such a big part of us, and when I realized that he wasn't going to be with us anymore physically, then I was really sad to hear that. And I don't really have any stories about him other than he was always there for College Police whenever we had something that we needed to have done in the station, especially the news station. It seemed like he was there a lot, helping us get things set up and taking care of little things that needed to be done. So anyway, I just wanted to come up and say, how much I'll miss him myself. It just seems like I'm always looking for him in the cart or something, riding around. So thank you.
I'm Denise, and I have lots of things I could say about Ray, but I'm kind of speechless, so to speak. So the only thing I really want to say, because that's what made the biggest meaning in my life, is he was a ray of sunshine for everyone. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tikima Mayasa, and I have the pleasure of being the chair of Black Studies here at San Diego Mesa College. For a long time, every morning when I'd come to campus, Ray was always here, welcoming us. Whether it's early in the morning, and as someone who lives here, meaning I leave very late at night, he was also someone who would make sure that I was okay when I would leave campus, going to my car. And anything I ever asked him to do for us in the G building, he was more than willing to do, always checking in. And as a family, here we are at Mesa. I think he epitomizes the spirit of what we claim we are, a family. As someone who reminds us, no matter how difficult things may be, no matter what your day was like, he would always remind us of why we're here. And for those of us who, no matter what we do, he helped make our jobs easier. He helped make us serve our students better. And so one of the things that we're committed to, we're going to also have another service for him during Black History Month. We're going to make a plaque to honor him. And we're going to put his picture in the hallways of G 105 so that his smile will always be remembered as we walk through the halls and to dedicate ourselves again to remember, right, why we're here, and that we are able to do what we do because of people like him. And the spirit that we claim that we're about will live in our memory of him. There's an African saying that no one is truly dead unless they are forgotten. So I ask all of you, all of us, to not only not forget him, but to make sure that long after we're gone, that other people get to know him too. And so we are making a scholarship in his honor that we will take and give out in February as well, because we want our students to know that it's not just about them, but it's about service to each other. And so there will be an opportunity, and we'll let everybody know what that is, and if people want to contribute to that, how they can, so that his memory of humanity and goodness and love is something that we keep in our hearts and our minds, and as part of what we do here at Mesa. Thank you.
Still morning, technically. Good morning. My name's Joe Schanberger. I taught math here for 27 years. I retired about 4 years ago. I miss being here. I miss the people. I learned a lot from the people here while I was here. Even as I sat down here today, I realized how much I took for granted. I would walk to my classes in the morning and I'd see Ray out there setting up something, very physically intensive labor. And I learned so much from him, because even though he's working hard, he'd say, "Good morning, professor, how you doing?" There was no volume control for Ray, which was fine, because I needed that in the morning getting ready for class. So it would get me into the right frame of mind. So I learned a lot from Ray by what he said and by what he did. I got to know quite a few of the custodial people here. Noel Johnson and I played hockey many years ago out in the old House of Ice in La Mesa. And the nice thing about hanging out with Noel and all the others, I didn't have to be on my guard. I could be myself. And so I am grateful to Ray for helping me to become more human, to not take so much for granted, and for the sunshine he brought into my life. Thank you.
Oh, it works. Yeah, I'm Dion Aquino. I work on the IT side of the college for many years. I've known Ray, God, I can't remember how long. I guess I should say the last time I really spoke to him, like every single day, because I'm responsible for the IT for this building, for the MS. He was working on these windows here, the students had scrawled, like, I thought it was pretty cool artwork actually, but as the dust accumulated on the windows, students would walk by and they'd put this really cool artwork on there. And I'd ask Ray, well, first of all, I would do a fist bump with him. And if you guys have ever done a fist bump with Ray, I mean, he'd literally break your knuckles if you hit you just right. I mean, it's like, oh God, it's like, so he's so loud. He's just so open. Like, you don't have, just exactly what Joe was saying. If you're feeling down in the morning, or you just fought the traffic coming in this place, and you went through all this, whatever, it was garbage day, and you had to take the trash out, and then you had to fight your way on the freeway. You walk in on campus and Ray's there and he goes, "Hey, good morning, Dion." And this bum, I go, "Oh yeah, okay, hey, that woke me up. I don't need my coffee anymore," So he's great. I mean, it was just his spirit, everything. We talked about different things. I gave him a ride a couple of times, and he never wanted to be a burden on you. The same thing with my mom. Her thing was, I don't want to be a burden, So Raymond was the same way, but you'd have to twist his arm to give him a ride someplace, I mean, he's that kind of person, I mean, there's other people around campus. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but there's people here that would literally give the shirt off your back, I mean, if you were hurting and you needed something, and Raymond was that kind of guy, he'd like assist, he'd help, he'd be like the good Samaritan right there, standing right there. And do whatever's right. And that's the important word, is he'll do what's right, what needs to be done, I miss him. I really miss him every day. I come in, it's like, I'm thinking, oh, there he is. I'm like across the quad, and it's like, "Hey, morning, Dion." I'm going, whoa. I try to not make people not see me, But yeah, I miss him, so I think a lot of you probably feel exactly the same way. So anyway, that's my piece.
Hi, my name is Pat Vine, and I used to work in the art gallery. I worked there for 27 years, and all those 27 years, every 6 weeks, we had an opening reception where Raymond was a key factor in getting everything ready, and he would deliver hundreds, thousands probably, of chairs and tables, and everyone had to be perfectly clean. And as everyone said, his smile and his demeanor were the things that would make any day so incredibly good. And I would go out of my way to run into him. Wherever he was, I'd take another route just to get that hit from him. That was incredible. It just was wonderful. It made everything seem okay. And yeah, I'm kind of a crybaby, so I'll stop now.
So hi, Pam Lesser, president of Mesa. I always thought of Ray as a song in his heart and a song in his ears, because he would occasionally indulge my need to dance. So he would be doing his thing and listening to his jams, and I'd say, "Ray, what are you listening to?" And he, like, "Oh, it's such and such today." And I'd be like, "Okay." So, so we do a little impromptu dance, and it was just really my way of getting the hit that you're all talking about. That just incredible piece of sunshine that he brought to everything he did. And Pat, like you, I found myself thinking, well, I wonder where he is on campus if I'm walking over this way. And I'd look for his little cart, that cool little bubble cart. And it was just this true feeling of just this person who was authentic exactly as he was. There was no muss, there was no fuss, it was just Ray. And I too am a crybaby, so I'm gonna stop here pretty quick. But the video that we did a few years ago, if you haven't had a chance to see it, where he talks about the students, and he says everything he does is all about the kids. And I think we all feel that way, so we will miss him greatly.
So I just want to also, we were presented this by Kim Perigo and the Academic Senate faculty. They made us a nice little plaque for Ray, of course, the ray of sunshine, which is awesome. It has the picture of him on there, and they made that for our facilities building. So we'll definitely have his memories always hanging up in the facilities building over there. So, and then the award he got during convocation, they put a little hook here, which we will hang as well. So thank you, Kim Perigo and Academic Senate. Appreciate it. So with that being said, thank you so much for all the stories. Every single story, wonderful. Thank you. Especially those that retired and have come back here to share their stories. Thank you for that. I also want to thank Suzanne and Sue and Craig for the little committee that put this all together. Thank you for the gals because they do a wonderful job on planning these things, so I really appreciate that. And thank you, facilities crew, for the setup. And AV, as always, thank you so much. And Aaron and his faculty or staff for the nice refreshments. So please hang around. Please keep the stories going amongst ourselves and enjoy some refreshments. So thanks again, everybody, for coming out for this. Really appreciate it.
When I first walk on campus, I'm ready to go. You know, I got a good feeling, you know, it's gonna be a good day, you know. And I start off that way until it's time to go home. I keep a smile on my face, you know. And, you know, you be surprised. If other people see you happy, then you make them happy, you know. And I just try to keep it going, you know, and laugh every day. You know, enjoy life. That makes a big difference. And the kids, that's our responsibility, to make sure that they get their education and everything else that they need so they can be the next Obama.